In today's video, we're going to continue with and discuss our journey in Fallout 3. Last time, we started in Vault 101. We grew up there, we got our very first Pip-Boy, we put points into our special attributes, we took our GOAT exam which allowed us to put points into our skills. Then one day, Amada woke us up in a craze saying that our dad had to escape the vault. The Overseer as well as the 101 security were after us and him. We had to flee as well, leaving chaos and violence behind us. We finally left the vault, and now we're out into the wastelands. This is our first time seeing the quote-unquote overworld, and we're pretty taken aback. Everything is destroyed, things are blown up, and there's radiation everywhere. Everything's been picked apart, and there isn't a human soul around. We find a little town first called Springvale. This is the remnants of what human civilization looked like before the Great War. We see a weird robot flying around. Getting in closer, it's called an Enclave iBot. We try to interact with it, but it doesn't do much, doesn't talk back to us, and all it does is play music. However, it's not hurting us, so we won't hurt it. We explore Springvale for a little bit before we see a house that we can actually enter inside of. We go through the door and actually interact with a human being.
Who the hell are you? Where'd you come from? Did Moriarty send you?
We tell her to calm down and then ask who Moriarty is.
Colin Moriarty, the owner of Moriarty's Saloon in Megaton. That sack of shit is convinced that I'm some crazy junkie who stole money from him.
We try our luck and ask her for some caps.
Look, I don't know who you are. I'm not just handing over my life's earnings to you.
We insist that she just hand over some of her caps and we'll tell this Colin that she's gone.
You do that for me? I never expected anyone to care enough. Here you go. Thanks, kid. You're all right.
As for our first human interaction in the wasteland, that didn't go so bad. Things could have gone sour, but we talked our way out of it. Looking around Silver's home, we do see a lot of drugs, implying that she's likely a junkie. We also see some supplies that could be useful for us, so we go back to Silver and do the unthinkable. We have a long journey ahead of us to find our father. The wasteland is brutal, so we have to match that energy. Silver was likely alone, and she wasn't doing anybody good being out here, so we decided to end her life and take all of her goods for ourselves. We could use those stim packs. We could sell all of those drugs for some hard-earned caps. Everything we could think of to justify our actions. In reality, we know what we did was wrong. Would our dad be proud of us? Most likely not, but our number one priority is to find him. Silver mentioned that this Colin Moriarty lives in a town called Megaton. We remember seeing signs for Megaton in Springvale, so we follow them and end up at the door of the city. Outside, we see these massive ants that we've never seen before. They're definitely mutated and they look incredibly dangerous. We hear a very loud noise and it looks like an airplane engine is turning, lifting the city gates for us, allowing us inside. We see a less than fortunate man sitting on the ground just outside of the city. We approach him and speak with him.
Oh, thank God. Someone new. I need water, please. Water.
We ask him if any water will do.
I've been drinking this irradiated shit and I can't do it. I just throw it up now. I need purified water, please.
We offer him some of our purified water.
I mean, you don't want anything for it? I don't have any caps or anything. I can just have it for free?
We certainly aren't going to give it to him for free.
I knew it was too good to be true. There are no good souls in the wasteland. Go. Just leave me alone to die.
Well, as per Mickey's request, we leave him alone, and then we enter inside of Megaton. We go through the city gates, and a man approaches us.
Name's Lucas Sims, town sheriff, and mayor too, when the need arises. I don't know why, but I like you, boy. Something tells me you're all right. So welcome to Megaton. Just holler if you need something.
We compliment him about the town and say it's a pleasure to meet him.
Friendly and well-mannered. I think we're gonna get along just fine. You treat my people nice, and you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like.
We tell him we understand.
I'm glad we understand each other. Now, is there something I can help you with?
We tell Lucas that we're looking for our father.
Nope, sorry. I got enough fires to put out in this place that I don't have time to keep tabs on every visitor. I'd ask around town.
We ask him if he knows anything about the local area.
It's called the Wasteland for a reason. But there are settlements too, spread all around. The human race is stubborn like that. To the south, you've got Rivet City. But don't bother going to D.C. The place is a war zone.
We ask to hear more about the city.
What do you want to know?
We ask him why the city is called Megaton.
The town's named after the bomb that's sitting in the middle of it. It hasn't gone off yet.
A bit freaked out by this, we let him know that he's living on borrowed time.
Maybe. So long as you stay away from the bomb, I see my chances of a long life improving. I hope we understand each other.
We tell him we don't plan on sticking around very long anyways.
Fine. Enjoy your stay in Megaton. Don't get into any trouble, and we'll go on pretending we're friends.
We end the conversation.
Have a good one.
We've been formally introduced to the town of Megaton. Our dad likely rolled through here when he left Vault 101, however, we're not really given any leads by Lucas Sims. We're kind of left to our own devices to figure things out. We wander around a little bit before stopping to talk to a food vendor named Jenny Stahl.
Now, I know I've never seen you in Megaton before. Well, let me guess. Just passing through, right? We get people trying to settle down here all the time. Anyway, if you're hungry, you came to the right place. What can I get you?
We ask her if she's seen our father.
Oh man, you're looking for your dad? That is so sweet. Did he run out on you when you were a kid or something? Our parents died when we were kids. My brother Leo, he's the oldest. He raised my brother Andy and me. It was hard on him, but we turned out okay. But God, you don't want to hear about that. I'm sorry, but I haven't seen your dad. He didn't eat at the Brass Lantern. I'd remember if he did.
Unfortunately, we don't learn anything, so we exit the conversation.
Have a good one, stranger.
We remember that woman we encountered earlier, Silver. She mentioned something about a Colin Moriarty in the city of Megaton. We look around to see where Colin could possibly be based out of, when finally, we run into somebody who might know something.
Ah, look. Another one of you wasteland assholes. Look here, asshole. I don't like you. Stay clear of me and we'll have no trouble.
We tell him we're looking for our father.
Are you fucking kidding me? Get out of my face.
We use our strength and attempt to intimidate him.
Well now, that's something I didn't expect. You're scrappy for a little vault twerp, aren't you? Maybe I had you wrong, kid. You're okay. Now what did you want to know?
We ask him again if he's seen our dad.
I usually avoid most of the wasteland types that come through here. But there was one guy. Unlike most of the wannabe heroes that come in here, he looked like he could actually read a book without giving himself a headache. He spent a bunch of time at Moriarty's before moving on. I tried talking to Colin.
We end the conversation.
Come back if you need something.
There it is, a second mention of Colin Moriarty. This is probably the person we want to go speak to. We wander around a little bit more before finding his saloon. Entering inside, we see a few citizens going about their life. We wander around to the back door and open it. The compass points us to Colin Moriarty.
Colin Moriarty, at your service. Welcome to Moriarty's. My saloon, my home, my slice of heaven in this backwoods little burg. If you've got the caps, I've got your pleasure. Please sit down, make yourself comfortable. Your troubles are a thing of the past.
We tell him we're looking for our father.
My God, it's you. The little baby boy all grown up. Persistent little bastard, ain't you? Then and now, it would seem. It's been a long time, kid. Oh, your daddy passed through here all right. Here and gone. Got what he came for and then left. I'm assuming you'll do the same, correct?
We tell him we were born in Vault 101.
Is that what your father told you? That you were born in that hole? That he was born there as well? Oh, the lies we tell to those we love. Your father brought you to the vault right after you were born. To keep you safe, you see. I remember it well. You stayed in my saloon, after all. That's right. Your father, his Brotherhood of Steel friend, and you, the suckling babe with nary a tit to suckle. Sorry about your mom, truly. But life goes on. Daddy lied. Life's full of little disappointments. And now you're all grown up and wondering where he's gone to.
We tell him that our dad told us we were born in Vault 101.
Ah, I see. You know, I heard about the brainwashing that goes on down there. From some other fella, escaped. 5 years back. All hail the overseer. We're born in the vault, we die in the vault, and all that other assorted lunacy. Kid, you've got better programming than our own Deputy Weld. You'd best wise up quick. Wouldn't want anyone taking advantage of you, hmm?
We cut to the chase and just ask where we can find her dad.
You seem like a nice kid, so I'm going to be straight with you. Your dad was here, and now he's not. And yes, I know where he went. But what you're asking me for is information, and information is a commodity. Let's say 100 cops, and Daddy's location is yours. Very reasonable.
It's almost like this was a sign for killing Silver. We agree.
Excellent. Your dad raised a smart kid. Really no substitute for the love of a father, now is there? Speaking of dear old Dad, he went southeast into D.C. to the Galaxy News radio station. Good luck now.
Well, that covers that. We know we have to go to this Galaxy News radio station in the capital, which is exactly where Lucas Sims told us not to go. Before leaving, we see something that kind of freaks us out.
Radio. Hey, Smoothskin. Do you need something? A drink, maybe? Anything? Anything at all?
We ask this thing what it is.
Haven't you ever seen a ghoul before?
We tell him we haven't.
Well, not all of us got the chance to hole up in a nice cushy vault when the bombs fell. A bunch of us got stuck out here in the world and got a full-on blast of heat and radiation. Turned us into a pack of walking corpses. Near as I can tell, we age slower than you. A lot slower. There were even a few ghouls that were alive during the war. Of course, with a face like ground Brahmin meat, you can imagine that folks don't take too kindly to us.
Feeling sorry, we lie and say it's not so bad.
Nice of you to say so. If you can't be nice, at least pretend, right? Fake it till you make it and all that. Still, though, a fake compliment is better than the usual spit in the face that I get. You're not half bad for a smooth skin.
We ask about Galaxy News Radio.
Mr. Moriarty says we can keep it on. It's a good radio station. I like hearing the DJ, Three Dog, and how he's helping to fight the good fight. If only I was a part of that, instead of being stuck in this dive.
We end the conversation.
Come back soon.
We leave Moriarty's saloon, make sure we're completely stocked up on our supplies, and make for the exit of Megaton. We're a little nervous. We were warned against going to DC, however, that's where our father went, so we have to go there. But we don't quite know what dangers await us. We know Galaxy News Radio is there, and we know that somebody by the name of Three Dog is in charge of the station, so maybe that's who we look for, but we're not totally sure. We encounter our first enemy in the wastelands. It's a bloatfly. It looks like a mutated gigantic fly, but this thing shoots something at us, and when it hits, it hurts. Fortunately, it doesn't take too many shots to take down, and we're free to move on. We go east in the direction of our compass. We're not exactly sure what awaits us besides Galaxy News radio station, and we do see the city of DC getting closer and closer. It also looks like DC was hit pretty hard by the bombs. We turn the corner of something called a super duper mart and see another human get demolished by these gigantic ants. We see by a nameplate that it's called a giant soldier ant, and there's 4 of them. One of them happens to be very big, and it's most likely the alpha. Even with some headshots in VATS, the giant soldier ant takes a lot of bullets before it goes down. The remaining 3, called worker ants, aren't so difficult to take out. A few shots to their heads and bodies, and they go down. We press onwards and come to a body of water. It looks like this inlet runs around DC. It seems like we have to cross it in order to get to our destination. We look and see that there's an overpass intact, but it's pretty far out. We weigh our options and just jump in the water. All things considered, it's not the worst. We're only gaining 1 radiation point per second according to our Pip-Boy, and we cross in no time. We discover a new location called Farragut West Metro Station. It seems like an allusion to Fort Farragut from Oblivion. The compass points us down there, but before we entertain it, we actually see that there's a humanoid standing off in the distance. We approach them and they turn aggressive towards us, shooting us with their pistol. We engage and shoot back at them. It looks like we have the upper hand, which we do, and all of a sudden, shots get fired at the raider from another direction. It looks like there's a group of hunters that are wandering through and saw the raider as a threat as well. We go up to his dead corpse and loot his goods as he won't be needing them any longer. Looking at our compass, we see that there are other red markers. We make the fatal error of engaging and jumping down at them. We get point blank hit by a shotgun multiple times, and then out comes the minigun. Within seconds, our character takes their first death. It's been a while since we saved, actually since we left Megaton, so we have to go through that whole ordeal again. We get back to the same spot and kill the raider. This time, they're wielding a hunting rifle, which will greatly benefit us for early game. Then, instead of engaging with the other raiders, we make our way to the metro station. Down here, the air is heavy and it's quite quiet, which leaves us a little bit unsettled. We make our way into one of the side rooms and see that there's actually a metro security terminal we can access. This is where we're introduced to the game's hacking feature. Essentially, numerous lines of code will pop up and we have to pick random words to see which one is the actual password. We have 4 attempts at guessing correctly. The computer will let us know if we have any of the correct letters. Filled in with the words are a plethora of symbols and signs. By activating certain signs, we can actually remove some of the dud passwords. Our first guess is the word grief, and we see that we have 3 out of 5 of the letters correct. Then, we try the word cried, and we're in. From here, the only thing that actually works is activating the Metro Protectron. We see that a metal chamber opens up, and a Robco robot comes out. We move on to the next part of the metro station. We see red markers pop up on our compass, meaning that there are enemies nearby. Peering around the corner, we see creatures we haven't seen before. These are called mole rats, and they're a giant mutated quadruped. They don't hit particularly hard, and they don't take too many shots to kill either. Moving on through the rest of the station, we come to a factory of sorts. Going up some stairs, we hear some hideous growling. On the other side of a gate locked in are creatures that look exactly like Gob. They're ghouls, but these ones seem like they want to cause us harm, like they're not in their right mind. Unfortunately, our compass points us right through the locked gate and in their direction, so we have to pick the lock and set the ghouls free. We're immediately rushed by the feral ghouls and they begin attacking us. For half-dead creatures, they move extremely quickly and attack with a lot of power. We realize early on that if we're not careful, we're going to be overwhelmed, so we take out the hunting rifle, and every shot we take a few steps back. We manage to kill 2 of the ghouls on our own before running into the assistance of the Protectron. Now we can make our way to that previously locked area, go to the door that our compass was pointing us at, unlock that, and travel to the next zone. Down in the subway tunnels, it's even more ominous. We see rad roaches run by, yet they don't really care about us. Traveling onward, we see a few red markers pop up on our compass. In the distance, shrouded by the dust and rubble, we see a massive figure approach from the entrance. It's humanoid in nature, but it most certainly is not a human. Whatever it is, it's fighting off feral ghouls and the rad roaches, so it could be on our side, right? We attempt to get close to it, but see it's chasing a rad roach up the escalator. We follow suit, and as soon as we get to the top, whatever this thing is tosses a grenade at us. Fortunately, we got out of the way in time, but we now know that it's not friendly. A ghoul pops out of nowhere and we have to kill it. 1 shot to the head will do, and then we continue back up the escalator. Our nameplate says that it's a super mutant. We follow it until it decides to turn around and take a big swing at our head. We go into VATS and shoot it multiple times in the face. The second shot practically blinds it, but it's still up and ready to attack. We fire off a few more rounds before the super mutant is finally killed. We advance to level 3 and assign 19 skill points. However, at this point, all we want is to just leave the subway tunnels. It looks like our wish is granted, as when we turn the corner, we see a bunch of corpses from ghouls and the exit. Finally emerging back out into the wasteland, we see that we're placed right in the middle of DC. We follow our compass south, and out of nowhere, we're under fire. 2 super mutants with hunting rifles are shooting at us and causing a lot of damage. We take cover, getting ready for the long fight, when all of a sudden, the super mutants are getting shot at by lasers. In no time, both of them fall dead. We cautiously approach the dead mutants and loot their bodies. We're unsure if whoever fired on them will fire on us, so we make our way towards them slowly and carefully.
Look, I don't know who you are, but you don't belong here. The super mutants have overrun our brothers at the Galaxy News radio building, and we're headed there to back them up. You can tag along if you want, but keep your head down and try not to do anything stupid.
We thank her for the assist.
You've been living under a rock? This is DC. The entire city is crawling with super mutants. Now, if you'll excuse me.
We ask her about Galaxy News Radio.
There aren't a lot of safe places in the ruins right now, but the Galaxy News radio building is sort of our port in the storm. Unfortunately, the building's been hit pretty hard lately. We're their backup. So if there are no more questions, we really need to move out.
We end the conversation.
Watch yourself out there.
Well, whoever these guys are, we definitely want to follow them considering what they did to those super mutants. They're most likely extremely powerful and stocked up on weapons and gear. Turning the corner, we see that there's even more of them. There's even a dead one lying in bed.
All clear, Sentinel. 5 mutants released from their torment. The rest are keeping their heads down.
Good. Jennings?
Negative.
A new recruit?
Just a stray we picked up. The one that blundered into the uglies over on 42nd.
Welcome.
All right, it's the usual drill. Redden. You just do whatever Paladin Vargas says and keep your mouth shut.
Yes, ma'am.
We charge out with the squadron and are met by resistance from some super mutants. We do what we can and it starts to get pretty hairy. All of a sudden, the screen goes white. A car blows up, our health goes way down, and we're even crippled. Regardless, we have to keep moving and follow our companions inside of an elementary school. With our broken arm, our aim's pretty lousy, so we have to use a Stimpak to heal it. The Uglies, as they're called, have a whole fortress set up inside of here. They're hiding in corners, waiting to sneak attack, and they're also taking pot shots from the rafters. Exiting the elementary school, we see a small battalion of super mutants taking on a building. That building has more of our companions in armor fighting back, and it looks like there's even the letters GNR written on it, meaning that this is Galaxy News Radio. It appears that the mutated attackers are all taken care of. We walk up to Sentinel Lyons and speak with her.
You can follow us as far as GNR, but keep your head down if you don't want it to get blown off.
We ask them what company they're a part of.
The name's Sarah Lyons, Sentinel and Squad Commander of the Lion's Pride. We're with the Brotherhood of Steel. We do our best to hold back the super mutants in this area, but when civilians stumble into our sights, that gets a bit difficult, doesn't it?
We end the conversation.
Watch yourself out there.
So our heroes are actually something called the Brotherhood of Steel, which seems to be a pretty unique and powerful faction. We go up to the GNR station and speak with the intercom.
Door stays closed until we finish securing the perimeter.
Well, it definitely looks like everything around here is dead. However, that's when we hear it. A massive, ungodly creature called a super mutant behemoth rushes its way and charges into the Galaxy News Radio Square. In a panic yet organized unison, we all fire our shots at it. It seems to be using some kind of pole as its weapon. Being on the other end of that swing will render anybody dead. It takes up almost all of our ammo from our newly found assault rifle. However, slowly but surely, its health goes down. In a brave and dumb manner, we meet it head on in the square and fire away, ultimately killing the super mutant behemoth. We loot it and find some very useful supplies, then speak with Sentinel Lyons yet again.
I guess it's my turn to thank you. Anyway, the area's secure, so you're free to talk to Three Dog if you need to.
We tell them that they don't mess around.
I'll take that as a compliment. If we don't try to keep the mutants from killing everyone and everything in the capital wasteland, who will? The Brotherhood does its best, but sometimes it takes a little something special. That's where the Lion's Pride comes in.
We tell her we're sorry about Redden.
She died well. In the end, that's all that really matters.
We ask if there's anything else she can tell us about GNR.
Well, the Brotherhood needed a secure outpost, and the guy who runs the radio station needed to not get his head ripped off by super mutants. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. Three Dog is the man in charge. He keeps that signal broadcasting pretty much single-handedly. He's, interesting. I'll give him that much.
We end the conversation.
Watch yourself out there.
We return back to the intercom.
Looks like it's all clear, unlocking outer doors.
We can now go inside of the Galaxy News radio station. Immediately, we come face to face with two more Brotherhood of Steel members. They're aiming weapons at us, but they see we're not hostile and don't fire. We make our way to the GNR studios and ascend some stairs. Waiting at the top is somebody we've heard a lot about.
The look on your face says it all. You're wondering who the heck this guy is and why you should care. Well, prepare to be enlightened. I am Three Dog, jockey of discs and teller of truths, lord and master over the finest radio station to grace the wastes, Galaxy News Radio. And you, well, I know who you are. Heard about you leaving that vault, traveling the unknown, Just like dear old Dad, huh? Met him already.
We ask him what's with the flashy introduction.
Hey, when you're in the good fight, you gotta give it all you got and never ever hold back. Always dazzle 'em, I always say. Always dazzle 'em and spread the word.
We ask him what the good fight is all about.
Imagine a picture, okay? A picture of the capital wasteland. All that brick and rock. A whole lot of nothing, right? There's people out there trying to just barely make it from day to day. Fighting to stay alive and make something out of what they got. But then you've got all kinds of shit. Slavers, super mutants, raiders. They all want a slice of the pie too. And aim to take it by force.
We say that he uses his voice to fight the good fight.
Well, holy shit. Aren't you a chip off the old block? You are as smart as your dad. Since you know all about this cause, no need to explain the effect. Let's get you on your way.
We ask him how he knew we were looking for our dad.
Oh, come on. You're a spitting image of the guy. He's been here before, and now you're here. Doesn't take a genius to figure it out. You want to find your dad. And it just so happens his location is known to yours truly. But if you want to know more, you're going to have to contribute to the good fight.
We ask him for more information.
You want to find your dad. And it just so happens his location is known to yours truly. He was here at Galaxy News. We had a great conversation. He's a real stand-up guy. If you want to know more, you're going to have to contribute to the good fight.
We try our luck to shortcut this conversation.
I like what you're saying, but this is bigger than just you and your dad. If you want help from Galaxy News, you need to contribute to Galaxy News. That's all there is to it.
We agree to help Three Dog.
Good, because this isn't gonna be easy. Galaxy News Radio is my baby. I love it. I feed it. I keep it changed. But there's one problem. No one outside of DC can hear her cry. You see, some brainless super mutant thought it would be funny to shoot at the shiny round thing on the Washington Monument.
We say we don't like the sound of this.
Oh, it gets worse. So, after it gets blown up, I look into how to replace the sucker. Guess what? The factory that made the relay dishes is long gone, leveled. As in, we'll never find that part again.
We tell him this sounds risky, but we'll try anything.
It is risky. I would never lie to you. But there's something behind those eyes of yours that screams, I'm the one that can get shit done. Your dad had that same look in his eyes too. That's why Three Dog's helping you.
We ask what we need to do.
One of the Brotherhood guys that passed through here mentioned seeing a dish in one of DC's old museums. It's the dish off the old Virgo 2 lunar lander in the Museum of Technology. I want you to get it and bring it to the Washington Monument to replace the bad one. That's it.
We tell him he's got himself a deal.
I sure know how to pick 'em. You're gonna be the best thing that ever happened to Galaxy News in a long time. If you need any more info, I'll be here waiting for you.
And with that, we're one step closer to finding our dad in the wastelands. Three Dog never mentioned exactly what to expect in the old museum. However, we know it's going to be trouble. It's best we stock up on our gear now. Until next time, keep on adventuring.